He told me to pretend to be his boyfriend, just to keep his family off his back. But now, I'm lying in his bed every night, whispering his name like a prayer I never meant to say out loud. And the crazy part? I think I'm falling for the one guy I was never supposed to touch. Hey, you watching this right now, wherever you are in the world, I want you to pause, take a breath, because this story, it's going to hit you in the chest, curl around your soul, and make you believe in something again. Backhand index pointing right, so do this for me. Like this video, drop a comment, and tell me where you're watching from. Subscribe to the channel if you love intense love stories that blur the line between real and fake, until there's no line left. Because if you don't, you'll be the only one missing out. And trust me, that's a damn shame. You ever agree to something thinking it's just going to be casual, and then you end up standing outside a colonial mansion, wearing your tightest shirt and praying you don't accidentally fall in love? Yeah, that's where I was when Romer Hayes opened the door. He didn't smile. He never did in public. His eyes flicked to me, top to bottom, like I was some problem he had to solve in front of his entire legacy. "You're late," he muttered, then leaned in close and whispered, "You look hot." I blinked. Is that supposed to be a complaint or a compliment? He smirked. Both. And just like that, I stepped into the lion's den, pretending to be the boyfriend of South Carolina's golden boy. It started 2 weeks earlier. I was bartending at an invite-only fundraiser in downtown Charleston when Romer cornered me with 2 gin-soaked breaths and a desperate look. "My family's coming into town. I need someone." Convincing. I raised a brow. Convincing how? He didn't blink. "Gay. What? Hands off in public. Hands on where it counts. You in?" I said yes because I needed the money. I stayed because I couldn't stop thinking about his hands on my back the first time he kissed me in front of his mother. His mother, Priscilla, had a sharp smile and sharper eyes. "So this is the man," she said, like I was a dog he found in a parking lot. Romer didn't answer. He just pulled me in, no warning, and kissed me. I froze for half a second. Then I let myself melt just enough to make it look real. But when his hand curled at the base of my spine and his lips lingered a beat too long, I knew this wasn't acting. Not for me. What started as, "You can crash in the guest room," turned into me wearing one of his shirts and brushing shoulders in the kitchen every morning. One night, after too many shared drinks and jokes that weren't supposed to feel this easy, he knocked on my door and just said, "Can I sleep here?" He didn't touch me that night. He just laid beside me, breathing slow and steady like the world finally stopped demanding something from him. And in the silence, I realized I wanted to touch him. Not just his body. I wanted to touch everything he was hiding. By week 2, he started holding my hand when no one was watching. He started calling me Lynn. He kissed me once, slow, private, under the porch light when we thought the cameras were off. When I pulled back, confused, he whispered, "I forgot we weren't supposed to mean it." But before we dive into the heat, the jealousy, the betrayal, I want you to drop a comment below. Tell me where you're watching from, and if you've ever fallen for someone you weren't supposed to love. It was supposed to be just one weekend. Then it became a week. Then 2. And now, I was adjusting to the feel of Romer's arm around my waist like it belonged there. Like I belonged there. But every story that burns this hot eventually leaves scars. Charleston had this way of pretending to be calm. Elegant porches, iced tea, whispered gossip. But underneath, it boiled. And once Romer and I started drawing eyes outside his family's inner circle, it wasn't just gossip anymore. At brunch one Sunday, his cousin Ellison showed up uninvited, slick-haired and full of suspicion. Ellison was the kind of man who weaponized charm. The kind who could smile while slitting your throat. "So, this is the mysterious boyfriend?" he said, dragging out the word like it tasted bitter. I forced a grin. In the flesh, Romer stiffened beside me. I felt his hand brush mine under the table, a silent tether. "Stay. You two look comfortable," Ellison said. "Almost like you've rehearsed it." I laughed. "Maybe we have. Some of us take pretending seriously." That earned a dangerous look, but he dropped it. For now. Later that night, Romer paced the kitchen barefoot, angry in that quiet way that made everything louder. "He's going to start something," he said. "Ellison doesn't believe us." I leaned on the counter. "Because we aren't real." He looked up sharply. "Aren't we?" Silence. Just the hum of the fridge, and the question echoing between us like a dare. "I don't know what we are, Roem," I said honestly. "But it stopped being fake the moment you kissed me like you forgot who was watching." We didn't talk about it again. Not out loud. But the air between us stayed charged. Until the gala. The Hayes family annual fundraiser. Black ties, cameras, and masks made of champagne and legacy. I was just supposed to play my part. Smile. Hold his hand. Look like I belonged beside the heir to a southern empire. But Ellison showed up with a different plan. Halfway through the night, he stepped onto the stage. Microphone in hand, smile carved from vengeance. "I'd like to say something," he announced. "About truth." Romer's grip on my hand tightened. "Oh no!" Ellison turned to the crowd. "Family means trust. It means honesty. Which is why I think it's important to reveal that not everything you see tonight is genuine." A murmur rippled through the guests. Romer stood, jaw clenched. "Ellison, sit down." Ellison didn't blink. "You want to tell them, cousin? Or should I?" I stepped forward, heart pounding. "You really want to out your own family just to settle a score?" Ellison's eyes gleamed. "You think you're protecting him? You don't know him. You're a pawn." That's when Romer did something I didn't expect. He kissed me. Hard. Raw. Public. Ass. Phones clicking. His mother's hand flying to her chest like a Victorian widow. When he pulled back, he looked right at Ellison. "You want truth?" he said, voice steady. "Here it is. I lied to you all." The room went still. "I told you I brought him here to fake it, that it was just to keep you off my back. But the truth is, I don't want him to leave. I'm in love with him." My stomach dropped. My lungs forgot how to work. Because I didn't know if he meant it, or if this was just another performance. Back at the mansion, after the guests had filtered out and the silence settled in, I finally asked, "Was that real?" He turned to me, eyes tired. "I don't know how to lie about you anymore." I wanted to believe him. God, I did. But that's when I saw it. A notification on his phone. From someone named Ben. "Still thinking about last night. Call me?" My heart cracked. Slowly. Quietly. Like ice under too much weight. "Who's Ben?" I asked. Romer froze. "It's not what you think." I stepped back. "Don't. Just don't." He tried to reach for me. "Lynn, I didn't sleep with him. It was before you. Before all of this. But you kissed me in front of your family and told them you loved me. You made me believe it was real." "It is real," he insisted. "Then why does it feel like I'm the only one who's risking something?" I left that night. No suitcase. Just my shoes in my hand and salt in my throat. I wasn't sure if it was over. But I knew one thing. You can only pretend for so long. Before the truth demands its own spotlight. It was supposed to be fake. No labels. No pressure. No messy feelings. Just Romer Hayes' boyfriend. For show. But now we were dancing on the edge of something too real to ignore. And too dangerous to name. Everything changed the night of the benefit gala. The lights were soft gold. The string quartet played like they were auditioning for angels. And every rich, suspicious eye in South Carolina was on Romer. He had on a navy velvet suit. I'd never seen him that polished. And I'd never felt so messy inside. I'd barely made it through one flute of champagne before someone appeared behind me like a ghost from a past life. Ellison. I choked. He smirked. Hey, Lynn. Romer stiffened beside me. Ellison used to be my everything. First kiss, first heartbreak. The guy who left me on read for 6 months and then resurfaced with a fiancée. And now here he was, in this glittering room, staring at me like he still owned a piece of me. You clean up well, Ellison said, eyes skating down my body before flicking to Romer. This your new project? Romer stepped in before I could speak. He's mine. No project. No qualifiers. Ellison just laughed. Right? The Romer Hayes. Of course. Must be exhausting. Pretending all the time. Romer's jaw ticked. You don't know anything about us. Ellison leaned closer, dropping his voice. Don't I? I know Lynn. And I know that he breaks in two when he's not loved right. Just don't leave pieces of him behind when this stunt is over. Then he walked away, leaving silence like shattered glass in his wake. Later, Romer didn't talk about it. He just drank. Too much. And when we got home, he kissed me like he was trying to erase the taste of every doubt. We didn't stop at the porch. We didn't stop at the hallway. We made it all the way to his room, where his hands trembled on my skin, and he whispered, Tell me you want this. Tell me I'm not the only one losing my mind. I pulled him in. I want all of it. Even the parts you think are unlovable. That night, we crossed a line. It wasn't just pretending anymore. It wasn't just heat or comfort, or the thrill of hiding. It was love. But love doesn't survive on silence. The next morning, the tabloids had a field day. Romer Hayes seen kissing mystery man. Hayes family in crisis? Fake love or the real deal? His PR team spiraled. His phone rang nonstop. His mother showed up in person. What the hell is this? Priscilla hissed, throwing the paper on the counter. Romer didn't even flinch. It's the truth. No. It's a scandal. You are not gay. Yes, I am. And I'm tired of pretending. She slapped him. Right there. In front of me. Then she turned to me. This is your fault. You latched onto him like a parasite. Stop, Romer growled. Don't you ever speak to him like that again. She left. But she wasn't done. By nightfall, the threats came. Withdraw from the board, or we cut you off. Drop the boy, or the family name is finished. And Romer, he didn't say it at first. But I knew. I felt it. He was pulling away. I came home one night, and found my stuff neatly packed in a box on the guest bed. I stared at it, throat closing. Romer walked in, eyes red-rimmed. I'm sorry. That's all you're going to say? He looked away. I can't lose everything. You already had everything. Me. Us. I thought I could fight them. But I can't ask you to live like this. In hiding. In shame. So you'd rather lie to the world than admit you love me? He didn't answer. I walked out with my heart in pieces. But you know what? Some stories don't end with the door closing. Some stories start after the heartbreak. Because 2 weeks later, I got a call. And Romer's voice, hoarse and shaking, said, They tried to erase you. But you're the only thing that's ever felt real to me. And then he showed up. Publicly. Loudly. At the same press conference his mother arranged to restore the Hayes reputation. He took the mic, stared into a sea of cameras, and said, "I'm Romer Hayes. I'm gay. And I'm in love with a man who showed me what it means to be free." The room exploded. And me? I was in the back row, crying, because for the first time, he chose me. Not in private, not in secret, but in front of the whole damn world.